Hi, so what we're looking at today is the female Ascaris worm, which is an intestinal parasite. So if I move the tray a bit, you can see her anterior region is way over here, see ya? And her posterior is way on this side. In between is all the body systems, which there's really only two inside of a worm. So we have the digestive system first, and the digestive will run. So if you see way up here, there's kind of this yellowish colored tube, and this digestive tube will run from the entire length of the worm, starting at the mouth, and it will continue going, and it kind of gets wrapped up here in all this reproductive stuff, and it's going to keep going until we get all the way down here to the posterior end, and we can still see it kind of looks like a flat ribbon-like structure, but very thin intestine. So that's the one system, head to tail. That means all these other coily tubes that we can see is all reproductive, because that's the only other thing in the pseudocoelom, or cavity. Now, I know in the notes we simplified the way we draw these, but the way that we know which one is which part of the female system is the thickness or diameter of the tube. So if I pull these ones out from way over here, we can see that these really skinny tubes, see how tiny they are? They're super thin on this left side of the screen. I'll move over a little bit. All of these super skinny tubes would be the first part of her reproductive system, which would be her ovaries. And then those keep coiling and coiling and coiling, forward, back, and then we see we get to a slightly thicker tube, which is up here. Now this slightly thicker tube would be the oviducts, which are a tube that transports sperm. Now eventually these keep coiling, and they will eventually become what look like these kind of two large pinkish or peachy colored tubes here, and you'll see there's two of them, and they keep running anterior, two of them side by side, and some of them got severed during the cut. But eventually we can see these two peach colored tubes unite right here and become one tube. While there's still two tubes running down the worm, which is what we see all over here, these two pink tubes are called the uteri, which would be, they have, again, one uterus and two uterus. So they have two of them, and when they unite right here, at the more towards the anterior part of the worm, we call that the vagina. And on this one, luckily, when they cut it, you could see the tube. If I kind of pick up her reproductive system, you can see the tube here, really tiny, skinny tube that goes down and then attaches into the wall of the worm, which would actually be her female genital pore or her vulva. And the last system in the worm, if I kind of move the worm back, if I pull all the systems out to the side and I just get everything off and I just look at the wall of the worm, we can see the last system, which is these two dark lines, one here and one up here, the two dark lines running down in the wall of the worm, and both these dark lines would be the excretory canals or lateral lines, which is a clear tube where urine flows. And that's it. Hope that helps.